You know, one of the big challenges of discerning right decisions is that we're just so busy, it seems. And to complicate matters, it seems like we're so plugged into different kinds of electronic devices that it's difficult to hear. But I know as we really look at this question of discerning right decisions, we know that there are some real obstacles that get in the way. For both of you, what do you think are some of the major obstacles to discerning good decisions?
I know in my own life, I was a priest for 2 years, and so not a lot of experience, but some in terms of trying to develop a daily rhythm of prayer. And in my second year, I really hit a point where I was having a really hard time praying. And so I brought this to my spiritual director. And my spiritual director said, okay, don't fight too hard. Simply at the end of each day, if you haven't prayed, write down in your journal why you didn't pray. And let's just talk in a month. And when I came back in a month and I looked at that list that had built up over those 30 days, I found for me it was 3 things. I was too busy. I felt too busy to pray. I was anxious about something and didn't want to sit with it in quiet. Or I felt guilty that I hadn't prayed for 3 days, so who am I to show up on the 4th day and expect God to be there? And those 3 things kept me from setting time aside for prayer.
Busyness is clearly a theme. I mean, and with 6 children and a job, busyness is something, that I struggle a lot with. One thing I've learned is that busyness doesn't subside season to season of life. You always think this is just a busy period, but it will change soon, and that doesn't happen. So I found that you really have to protect your time. And a temptation for me is to think, well, my life will be a prayer. I'll talk to the Lord, during the course of the day. And really, that's not enough. I mean, an analogy that I think of is, I work beside my spouse, day after day raising our family, but we still need to set aside time just to talk to one another. Otherwise, I don't know what he's thinking, and we can't make good decisions about the direction of our family. And I think prayer functions similarly. I really have to give God that time.
I found that in my own life. The analogy I have in my mind is always, a couple can be married, and if you don't have that breakfast together, or whatever that sacred time is, where it's just the 2 of you together forming that base before the kids wake up, and if I don't have that first hour of the day quiet with God, as you say, you can pray during the day, but if you don't have that intentional time at the very beginning, where it's just the 2 of you, it's really hard to keep that relationship going through the chaos of the day.